Good morning. So today we got my 1990 Yamaha Zuma. This one I had traded a really busted up Yamaha Blaster, 200cc Yamaha Blaster ATV for. So when I got it, it was missing the seat, it was missing ignition switch. It was in really bad shape, and it was the older, what was it, blue and gray colorway. I think it was like one of the only, like 1 or 2 years where it came with a slim double seat and the gray floorboard and the light blue belly pan and light blue plastics. And all in all, it was pretty shoddy condition. The motor on it still ran, so I actually used the motor in another scooter. But this one I decided to do a horizontal minarelli swap to. So now it has an Aprilia 50cc Scarabeo motor in it, and I did a Moto Force 50cc cylinder and piston. It's like an OEM replacement for an Aerox. I custom made this solid strut bar. I'm running a Delorto 21mm carburetor. I have this stage 6 pipe on right now from one of my Bug Eye Zumas. I'm using this straight water pump. It's, I guess, the extreme cut version or whatever. I forgot the exact name of it. But I got some hose from my local hardware store. I'm using a Aprilia SR50 radiator and expansion tank. It's kind of tucked away in there. I had to figure out a way to mount it and stuff. The bars are OEM bars that I trimmed all of the tabs off of and flipped them upside down. Kind of give it that Taiwan racer style look. That's a OEM single seat that I still have the foam for, but the actual wrap for it was in really bad shape. So I had ordered some of this faux Recaro fabric off of eBay and wrapped it myself. Now I'm using the OEM style, or the OEM tank, but the inside of this one is pretty rusty, and I don't know if it's salvageable. I can't even get the top off. So I'm using it basically just as a seat holder, and that's my fuel tank, the OEM oil tank. And I'm using a petcock, an on-off petcock, to run it to the carb. As far as modifications go, this one is very simple. Right now it has a modified PW50 airbox. I have, which you can't really see, well, yeah, you can. I have a S23 reverse intake manifold, and that's basically it. The CVT isn't anything crazy because it's still just a 50cc bike, and I don't necessarily have any reason to go overboard tuning it. I'm sure I can get a little bit more peppiness out of it, but it's just, as of right now, it was kind of like a test to see how well I could put together a water-cooled setup on a prebug. And now that I know it runs and rides pretty well, I'll probably get like a 70cc kit and just try to make it go a bit faster. I have been debating on getting a different Easy Boost mount, because this Easy Boost mount that I have, this part right here, that one is a 7.5 centimeter stretch. So as you can see, the thing is pretty long. It's not really like tucked up in there. And Easy Boost makes a different one where the carburetor is supposed to mount forward. This one is supposed to mount facing the rear tire, but they make one where it's supposed to mount facing forward, and it's shorter and more tucked in, so you can run like a 280mm shock. So I'm thinking about doing that and then putting a Bug Eye shock on it, and just turning it into like another street bike. I had intentions on making this kind of like a drag bike after I had finally figured out the whole air cooling situation or water cooling situation and all that, but just doesn't seem like that's really useful to me. I'd rather have a bike with full suspension. And you know, I think I have 2 other or 3 other prebug frames, so maybe I'll swap this longer stretch mount into one of those. And I have a 90cc ATV motor by Yamaha, which I have a wheel for and all that, and I'm just figuring out a few other things, but maybe that'll go into one of them, and it'll be the more dedicated, like drag racer style bike. Because in my area, there's no real scooter drag racing. It's all, you know, people on Groms and Kawasaki Z125s, and you know, there's just not much of a scooter scene here, so it's not necessarily relevant for me to have a drag race scooter, although it is cool, and I do like the way this one rides. It's a very stiff ride, obviously, because of the solid strut in the back, but it's a blast to ride. You get tons of looks. People probably think I'm nuts because I'm 6'3" riding a tiny little scooter like this, but it is what it is. I'm having a lot of fun with it. The Aprilia motor, this is technically the same motor that comes out of the Minarelli version of the SR50, from what I understand, like the very early models of the SR50. But this came out of an Aprilia Scarabeo 50, and I had bought this motor on eBay for, I believe it was like 300 bucks, or 350, 360 with shipping or something like that. And it came in pretty good shape. It had an original cylinder on it, and then I just kind of tucked it away and waited for something like this to happen. So now that I got it in there and I got the 50cc Moto4's liquid cooled cylinder, it does really good. It does really good. So I'm gonna just give it a start up and maybe a quick rip around. Nothing too crazy this time, because it's not like I'm showing you a video wheelie like on my other ones. This is more just showing you the build and what it's kind of going to become. But yeah, next clip you'll see it started up, it running, maybe a video of me riding it. So the scooter's fairly easy to start. So easy to start, in fact, that my 8-year-old daughter can do it. Why don't you go ahead and do it, Viv? Good job. Look at that. But yeah, so that's basically it. Right now it starts and runs really well. Doesn't overheat. It stays nice and cool. And yeah, it's just a pretty solid scoot so far. Like I said in the other part of the video, I want to make it so it's a more rideable scooter, because right now it's not necessarily something I can take on longer rides. But that's it. That's all. Thanks for watching. Well, maybe I'll throw in another clip of me just zipping around on it. I look like an ape on it, but yeah, I'll throw in one more clip of me riding on it, so you can kind of get an idea of how low everything sits and all that.